Some extraterrestrials failed to achieve their goals upon arriving on Earth, including surveying the planet via spacecraft, reincarnating into the gene pool, or shapeshifting into human form. Such entities often traverse between parallel dimensions, which are closely connected to Earth's own dimension. They are influencing humanity from hidden dimensions within the world of Astron, invisible to the naked eye. The subworlds of Astron are brimming with soul fragments and eternal entities beyond rebirth. Similarly, there are also extraterrestrial forces of various races studying and influencing Earth. The Draconis are precisely such a race. How does this mechanism work to allow souls to exist in different parallel worlds? We will discuss this matter at a more suitable time. In today's 19th segment, we will focus solely on discussing the role of the sinister Draconis race and the dark Orion species in the Astron worlds. The future of the Draconis on Earth is both bright and bleak. Nearly 10% of the Draconis have chosen to turn toward the light. This means they are aware of the natural evolution of life, striving for growth and becoming closer to our Supreme Being. For some of them, it will be a long and arduous journey, especially due to the enormous amount of negative karma the Draconis race has accumulated over the past 10 million years. Unlike the Lyran or vegan people, the Draconians originated from a different star system before migrating here. Prioritize selecting the primary rescue point in the Alpha Draconis star system. Like all conscious life forms in this universe, they are endowed with free will. Like all free-willed beings exploring the outer world, they fell into a state of chaos and merged with the lower layers. Like other star races that have fallen into chaos and become trapped in the material world. War broke out among factions, primarily to vie for control in order to secure material survival. Wars often break out over competition for scarce resources, at least on the surface. Essentially, this is about asserting who is superior and gaining control over a specific world or a group of worlds. The boundless ambitions for personal ego and power were the primary cause of the Draconis' downfall. Only a handful of them still keep their souls intact in memory. And the number of people who can build a peaceful life among opposing factions is even rarer. Most Draconis who set foot on Earth are outcasts from their own society. They were often criminals exiled from their homeland, forced to wander between universes in search of a livelihood. Some spiritual masters in the world refer to these as underdeveloped souls. These lizard-like creatures arrived in the galaxy, and the first thing they did was attempt to land on Earth in their original lizard form. But upon realizing that the atmosphere and gravity here were unsuitable, they chose to reincarnate into human bodies. But as we mentioned earlier in the Earth's history section, the dragons in your legends were actually the first primitive Draconis people. The Draconis star system, much like the Orion constellation and many others, has changed significantly since the rebellious Draconis people migrated to Earth. The Alpha Draconis star system remains in a widespread state of decline. In the context where most Draconis there have yet to embrace the idea of a path to advancement. Nevertheless, the world of Draconis still achieved some great accomplishments. When Earth entered its ascension phase, the Supreme Council of Draconis, comprising enlightened beings of the 7th density, converged. Honey has long endured its ups and downs, sending its most talented and brilliant envoys to every corner of the Earth, with the desire to counterbalance the negative impacts that the Draconis people are causing across the archworlds surrounding Earth. Like the Light Draconis people, modern humans are currently living and moving among us. Dragon children. Need to spend too much time compiling information when it. Let us revisit the current role and function of the Dark Draconis on Earth. Currently, these individuals exist in 2 different forms on your planet. They wandered through ancient worlds, brimming with baseness and mediocrity, like drifting fragments of souls, haunted by the obsession to seduce as many as possible. It means all their energy merges into the souls of many, and they exist as reborn individuals. Typically, this DNA is associated with the Orion, Sirius, and occasionally Andromedan people. Much misinformation has spread about the Draconis' ability to shapeshift into human form, making them appear like ordinary beings. In reality, shapeshifting is an advanced technique that only souls who have reached the 9th density or higher can perform. The metamorphic manifestations witnessed by the enlightened are merely the overflowing state of arch energy. The dark, arch-spilled souls of the Draconis crave to drain all energy and vitality, so they wander across arch-spilled worlds. But what's noteworthy is that they often target those who crave power and always seek to control others. Because these are the dominant instincts of the dark Draconis people, ducks infiltrate the bodies of world leaders, those already consumed by delusions of power and control, which the dark Draconis desperately crave. When this was seen as the best way to claim Earth for oneself. Reincarnating into a human is a great challenge for the Dark Trekonus, as their rebirth support tools rarely find pure Trekonus DNA to serve as the foundation. As you know, most humans are a combination of different stellar lineages. Therefore, when reborn, Trekonus individuals often complete the DNA transformation process with diverse genetic sequences. Most of your leaders are under the control of the Dark Trekonus. According to current Akashic data statistics, approximately 60% of the world's leaders, including presidents, prime ministers, monarchs, heads of state, elected leaders, and even dictators, belong to this group. Partially or entirely controlled by the Dark Trekonus and their sinister Orion allies. While dark-skinned Orions make up a larger proportion of the total human population, dark-skinned Trekonus face greater pressure due to their overtly negative behavior, authoritarian attitudes, and tendency to seize power. Similar yet more refined and striking features also appear among the Dark Orions. The Dark Trekonus never cease seeking ways to refine their bloodline, while splicing new warlike DNA sequences into their genome. They conducted experiments on humans to extract certain components from DNA. They treated human lives as worthless, merely serving their own selfish purposes. However, due to the presence of many awakened beings and ascended souls, both within and around Earth, as part of the divine plan, the power of the Dark Trekonus to control Earth has been significantly weakened, if you are not driven by fear, cruelty, greed, rage, and the desire to dominate others. You may not be the direct target of a Trekonus attack. Understanding the circumstances and grasping the mindset of the Trekonus people is extremely important. The Trekonus and the Dark Orions exploit the ignorance of the masses to carry out their schemes on Earth. Many of them gradually realized that their time on Earth was coming to an end, as their energy sources dwindled amid galactic changes and the relentless forces of the universe. Thus, they grew increasingly desperate in their battle for control of Earth against the Simian race from Lyra Vega. This is why most of you are experiencing severe disruptions in Earth's energy flow day after day. The prophets forewarned you of a fierce battle raging in the celestial realm. However, this holds true only from the perspective of the lower-level secret sects. We in the higher realms do not interfere in these meaningless conflicts, but we are willing to support you on your journey of self-understanding. It will be very hard to escape illusions if you cannot distinguish between truth and falsehood. The core value of discussing the role of shadowy figures in the power elite is to help you grasp the true nature of what unfolds within global power structures and political institutions. The families of those considered leaders in your world also realize that they are being influenced by negative habits. They regard greed, rivalry, a competitive mindset, and power schemes as inseparable parts of human nature. Most of them believe they are doing the right thing. Many are deceived by religious belief systems, using them to justify their wrongful actions. Many world leaders are manipulated by Dark Trekonus and Orion groups, who believe that starting wars is the way to fulfill religious prophecies. They were completely unaware that it was the Syrians themselves who brought most of the religious prophecies to Earth in order to maintain control over the masses. Most Trekonus and Orions who were robbed fell into the same trap as the Sirius people. However, we will now focus solely on discussing these black-bagged Trekonus. Before long, the peace of this Earth will cease to tolerate the existence of those greedy black dragons. They were forced to abandon their parasitic bodies to enter the parallel Archchong world, which exists around other planets more suited to their level of fluidity. This phenomenon has occurred in some cases before, but it will become more noticeable starting from 2008. Some world leaders will return to their genuine human emotions and begin to live more harmoniously and lovingly. Meanwhile, others seem to fall into a temporary state of losing control. Some people can take control of their own lives or find another suitable path to leave this world. Some people may choose to become victims of war or uprisings. Only when they can influence the ignorant crowd does their game last long. And even if that were to happen, it would only last a few more years at most. They could lead countless souls without anyone knowing, like guiding the blind to the edge of a deep abyss. This requires each of you to be clear-headed in order to free yourselves from your own prejudices. By clearing away all emotional baggage and deeply ingrained negative beliefs, we, along with thousands of awakened souls, will accompany and support you on your journey toward liberation. Here are the English translation options, depending on context. The Dark Dragones and the Sinister Orion, with the support of other members of the Illuminati, planning to organize an event that leverages modern technology, designed to transform the conventional shopping experience. A week of fishing. Some members of the Illuminati may appear before crowds through 3D images projected in midair. Though deliberately deceitful, they still made people believe they were messengers delivering God's word. The true motivation of this organization is to create a positive impact on the community. There is no longer any doubt about advancing to the spacecraft or entering underground bases. They will become slaves to the Illuminati's New World Order, in one form or another. If enough Draconians and Orions join forces to expose this sinister plot, the Illuminati members were forced to change tactics, shifting to a new plan along with their desperate efforts to maintain control over the world. The Draconis light beings are increasingly growing in number on Earth, manifesting through thousands of children of their lineage. They are warriors of peace, unwavering in the face of war, conflict, suffering, or violence. They will join the Orions to form a group dedicated to supporting and ending all suffering on Earth. Although they make up only about 10% of the Draconis population. Afterward, many groups of individuals returned, including the enlightened ones from Andromeda, the awakened from Playa Desh, and the enlightened beings from Sirius. The role of the Sirius group members. One of the most striking moments in the play of contrasts between light and darkness on Earth is the people of Sirius. When you can recall the content that the recipient of this message recorded in Earth's threefold historical field. The Sirius people originate from the star systems Sirius A and Sirius B. These lords were once deities of the ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks. Like the lords in the Old Testament of the Bible, they also appear in the scriptures of many other religions, but are referred to by different names. Like the Draconis and Orion people, the Sirius beings descended in chaos and gradually assimilated into the 3D world. At first, they left the spacecraft and stepped directly onto the surface of Earth. They also have the ability to receive messages from the inhabitants of Sirius A and Sirius B. There are enough similarities to blend in quite naturally with the Play.IDEX ape-like beings without arousing any suspicion. Yet, as they charged down in fury, they were enthralled by the idea of wielding power and controlling ordinary people without the need for spaceships or modern technology. They used their advanced technology to transform themselves into supernatural lords wielding divine power. They became intoxicated with that power and reveled in the thought of having devoted followers who worshipped them. They performed the master-disciple act for many years, giving rise to worship rituals, secret societies, priestly classes, and esoteric schools. Alongside schools that pursue the true spiritual values of the Play.IDEX community. Today, the Illuminati was originally an organization founded with the initial purpose of serving as a legitimate path for spiritual development. Quickly defeated by the intervention of the Sirius people. Today, many Sirius beings have evolved to the fourth density and are present in higher Astrans worlds as well as lower ether worlds around Earth. Thus, most of their bodies remain invisible to human sight, even though they exist in physical form around Earth without spacecraft. The influence of the Illuminati on global events is profoundly far-reaching. So what is the reason this organization possesses such overwhelming power? Is there still someone else out there harboring ill intentions toward you? The details will be shared in part 20 of the series of messages from the production units. Now, Viet Quang would like to say hello and wish everyone a joyful and refreshing day.